Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. And I got a video here. It was actually suggested by many of you. One thing I've learned over running this channel for so many years is that it's incredibly important to listen to your subscribers. I'm not just trying to butter your biscuit here, but I really have some of the smartest, sharpest subscribers out there. But I really appreciate the fact that those of you who fall into those categories will still take the time to suggest things to me. I've been getting a lot of messages and comments here lately about the fall TV season, specifically the one in America, and about several of the shows that are coming out. I'm going to do a few honorable mentions at the end of this video, but I've gotten multiple messages about this TV series right here. It's called The Good Place. This is supposed to be a comedy. I've watched a few episodes and I don't think it's very funny. That's probably because I can see the programming. This show certainly is filled with occult symbolism and occult ideas. The idea is that this lady right here kind of snuck into heaven. She was supposed to go to hell, but through some series of errors, she winds up in heaven. And it's the way they present heaven that I found incredibly blasphemous. Not only that, but it's completely and totally based off of works. There are two camps we find when it comes to the idea of how you get to heaven. There are those that believe it's through your own works that you get there. Of course, we find that with the Freemasons. Climbing the ladder, becoming the God-man, finding the God within, worship of the sun, by extension of that, of course, worship of Lucifer. This is why in a lot of these TV shows and movies that are pushing these ideas, you'll find tons of sun symbolism. Because these occultists, these so-called elite, they worship the sun, they worship Lucifer. Even right here in this picture for The Good Place, it's a promo picture, we find the yellow, the sun symbolism, the yellow couch as well, the light around the two heads. But wait, there's more. So it's either works-based or it's salvation through Jesus Christ. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, but in the days we're in and the coming days ahead, Jesus Christ is going to be incredibly important. He's always been important. But Jesus is going to be at the forefront of all of this. Because the Savior that the world is going to give us is not going to be Jesus. And it's going to be pushing the same theology. It's all works-based. How good were you when you were on earth? I'm certainly no Bible scholar or anything like this, but I do know that from the Bible, it tells us that the most righteous man on earth is rags to the Lord. In other words, it doesn't matter how many good works you did. Especially if you think you're just doing good works to make it to heaven. That the only way to truly make it to heaven, the real salvation, is through Jesus Christ. And there's going to be some of you out there that disagree with that, and fair enough. That being said, here's an example right here. They're kind of running a video for all the newcomers to heaven at one point. And they're explaining how they got there. And they're explaining how all the people showed up, how they got to heaven. It was all through their works. So you can see here some of the good works, they're in green, and then the bad works that would send you to hell are in red. Look, you got plus 60 points for maintaining your composure in line at a water park in Houston. You get negative 53 if you tell a woman to smile. Step carefully over a flower bed, plus 2 points. As far as I'm concerned, complete and total idiocy. Now here's an example of one of the people that made it to heaven. And look at all the good works she did. Donated blood. Brought her own bags to the grocery store. Hey, she let someone merge in traffic. Ate vegan. The one at the top there, hosted refugee family. Look at all those points they got. Again, complete and total idiocy. This is works-based salvation, which again is completely and totally unbiblical. But it's an idea that you'll find in the lodge. There's a lot more going on in this show. Again, it's just very blasphemous. I mean, this is supposed to be heaven, but you have couples in here who are talking about switching up and having sex with each other and things like this. Okay, so this is their version of heaven. But as for symbolism, there were quite a few things. I'll just show you a few things off the top of my head here. But there's one symbol in particular that I found in the series that when I saw it, I knew I was going to make a video about this. I was convinced, okay, it's all there for a reason. We talk a lot on the channel about a lot of these occult TV shows. These TV shows that have these occult ideas or New World Order ideas they're pushing out there. And oftentimes it's predictive programming. There's lesser magic at play. There's social engineering taking place. But it's very interesting how a lot of the themes will line up with our reality. Literally a reflection, a mirroring, a duality. So isn't it interesting that we find in the very first episode of this show the creepy clowns? The guy on the right is Michael, and he's apparently, I guess, the main guy that kind of runs this particular realm of heaven. And he's showing this girl that just showed up to heaven her new house. Of course, he's explaining how all the houses were completely developed with the individual in mind. So they'll reflect the person. So she gets to her house, and it's filled with clown pictures. I didn't get a picture of it, but even in this, there's not just clown pictures. There's actually like a kind of a glass aquarium in this house, and it has a clown costume inside of it as well, just a costume. So the clown theme is there in the first episode. Interesting, I thought, especially considering the creepy clown craze, right, that is seriously exploding now. And it started off with creeper clowns out in the woods, and now we got them actually attacking people. Moving on, here's another symbol that we see in all kinds of things, and I point this out in a lot of my videos. Again, the duality, the black and the white, the as above, so below. So these are just a few of the themes I found. Again, common themes, occult themes we find in so much of the entertainment nowadays. So I only watched 3 out of the 5 episodes of this series so far, and I'm sure there's more symbolism in there. I mainly wanted to show you some of the main points. Now, up to this point right here, I wasn't even sure I was going to make a video. There's something else I saw, though, in the 5th episode. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. It really nailed it for me. And this kind of a study is important. I've been doing this for years. I've always felt this stuff is important, because the symbols tell another story. And when I see these symbols in TV shows, movies, ads, whatever it is, I literally see this as the devil's fingerprints. I know that they're trying to push forth a message to us. This is, again, predictive programming, lesser magic, social engineering. So I wouldn't surprise I'd find all these kinds of symbols in a TV show about heaven that really has nothing to do with the biblical heaven, nothing to do with Jesus Christ or salvation. It's all about being a good person. You're a good guy, good gal, you're going to make it to heaven. Don't worry about it, right? Anyway, let me show you this symbol from the 5th episode. So we're almost there. Before I show you this, this is the first thing I wanted to show you. On the other side of that screen is one of the characters that's in heaven. And again, this is heaven, right? Well, she turns out to be truly one of the most narcissistic people ever. An incredibly narcissistic character. But she's good. She made it to heaven. She did good deeds. And this right here just goes to show you how much of a snake she is. She sneaks into this top secret information here to find out how everyone's categorized, like who's at the top of the list, who was better than all the rest, as far as all the people that made it to heaven. She's looking for herself on this list. But note right there at the bottom where this screen's popping out of. It's a black pyramid. And of course you have the light at the top, the apex, right? The pyramid and the sun, once again, sun worship. So you have the apex as the light that creates the screen for her. Now this is her looking at the screen. And just take a look at the very last number, the 322. I've seen a lot of symbols in a lot of movies and TV shows and ads and things like this, but I don't see a lot of confirmations. You need to have more than one. It also has to do with the plot. It also has to do with the story. What's the theme? What is it they're really trying to get across to you there? There's a lot of different factors that come into play before I personally will make a video about so-called Illuminati symbols and something. But when I saw this and the black pyramid, I knew we had something. And again, not surprised, they're pushing forth this idea of a false heaven. A heaven where people can go that only did good deeds, right? But the 322, man, it's the 322. Where have we seen the 322 before? The 322 goes back to the American Illuminati, the Skull and Bones Club. And if you're not familiar with it, please look it up for yourself and you'll see this is a very real thing that exists. So is this all just a coincidence? I certainly don't think so, especially considering all the other symbols we found and the overall theme of the show. As for honorable mentions, some other people have mentioned some other shows to me here. Timeless is one of them. There've only been a couple episodes come out so far. It's a really interesting show about time travel. There's a bad guy going back in time. He's trying to change things, and there's a small team chasing him down and trying to stop him. Now, obviously, you have the pyramids down there in the corner, but there's something else that really stands out in this show. It's this right here. I mean, the time machine itself just happens to be an enormous all-seeing eye. So is that just a coincidence, you know? Is it just, you know, just something they threw out there? It's a Hollywood thing. They just put him in an eye, you know? The company that built the time machine is called Mason Industries. So for those of you who don't know, the Freemasons are completely behind NASA. Now this right here is actually from the Grand Lodge of British Columbia in Yukon. This is actually a Freemason website. Down here it has all these astronauts who are actually listed as Freemasons. No surprise, right? So is it all just a coincidence that this is called Mason Industries and the time machine is a huge all-seeing eye? I don't think so. And then lastly, a few of you have mentioned Aftermath. There's not a whole lot to show you with this, but I can tell you that Aftermath is a TV series all about the end times. They hint at the rapture in this. They have people being demonically possessed and attacking each other. They talk about a plague of locusts coming out. I mean, it's all there. Everything biblical. All the worst things you can imagine from Revelation, they're basically in this TV series right here. So that's it, folks. Thank you for the suggestions. Like I said, I wanted to go ahead and dig into some of this and just show you a few things that I found. I do appreciate it. It's very important to see this stuff. I still believe that. There's people that'll complain after a while. Oh, I don't need to see this stuff anymore. Well then, you know, move on, man. Okay? You don't need to see it, but there's new people waking up every single day that don't understand this stuff. Now, you can tell people all day long that entertainment, movies, TV shows, it's all bad for you. But you need to show them the evidence. You need to show them why. And this is all a part of that. Because when you can see the symbols that have been around for ages in these TV shows, in these movies, and you know there's a darker intention behind these symbols, it can free your mind. You'll see entertainment in a whole new way. Because the majority of it is filth. It is garbage. It is meant to pollute your mind, your soul, your spirit. At the end of the day, I hope it helps. I hope it helps for you to see this stuff and to understand the intention behind it. So that's it, folks. Thank you once again for checking out the video. Take care out there. Keep sending me ideas and suggestions, guys. I'm always looking. I'm always reading your comments and your messages. And I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon.